Hey folks, welcome to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. We're gonna do the sea shanty Drunken Sailor. Before I start, I just want to give a shout out to FiddleHed Tom and FiddleHed Nick for kind of turning me on to sea shanties. And they're quite fun to play and very good beginner tunes too. So what I'm gonna do is play the whole tune, then break it down for you, and then talk a little bit at the end about the chords and playing chord backup, which is actually not too hard on this song. So are you ready? Here we go. I'm gonna do the whole tune. So before we get started, I just want to say that on the FiddleHed site, you'll find backing tracks, not just for the whole tune, but for specific parts. I like to call these learning chunks because they include little bits of sheet music, sometimes tabs, and audio for each little part. So not only does this help you learn the tune, but it helps you to learn how to practice. That you don't just play the whole tune, you go deep on each part. So if you find this lesson helpful, you may want to check it out. It's free for part of the content is free, so go check it out. All right, so here is the first quarter of the tune. We're gonna start on open A. I'm just gonna play it once and then maybe talk it through a little bit. So starts on open A with the hoedown pattern. Long, short, short, long, short, short. By the way, this version that I'm teaching you follows pretty closely the way it is sung, and we'll get into that a little later. That is so this is followed by this part, A, open D, low to A. For those of you keeping score at home that is interested in music theory, that's a D minor triad. All right, isn't that cool? I like to connect the scales in the tune so you know why we do them. All right, so that whole part again, fast. Let's move on to the second quarter. First off, notice that the rhythm is the exact same thing. And that's going to be important when we do the B part, because the B part, or the chorus part, is the same melody with a slight rhythmic variation. So being able to see these bigger patterns makes it a lot easier to learn the tunes. If you can notice repetition, and when parts are pretty much the same thing with some little variation, it really helps reduce the amount of cognitive work that you have to do. So this is going to start with the same hoedown but on D3 or G. And now we're going to outline a C major triad. Guess what chord is going to go there? I'll tell you later. The suspense is killing you. C major chord would be there, and the first part would be D minor. And those are the only two chords in the tune. We'll get more into that later. All right, the third quarter of the tune. Let's do that now. So that's again starting A hoedown. And then walking, oh, that's the next part. So, and that's just going up A1, low 2, 3. And basically, the notes of this tune are based on D Dorian scale. An easy way to remember D Dorian is it's like D major, but you play low second finger. Another way to look at it is you lower the third step and the seventh step. All right, but again, not all of you are interested in that, so we won't linger on the theory part, but I'm happy to answer any of those questions that come up. Now let's do the fourth quarter. All right, and the notes there are a low 2, open A, D3, 1, open. Awesome. So now we have the entire part for the first quarter. Let's try to do it with a play along track. 1, 2, 3, 4. Adding backup. Cool. So when we look at the B part, it's really the same melody, but a little. Let's just compare the first quarter of the A, the first quarter of the B. The first quarter of the A, I'm gonna sing it too. What will we do with the drunken sailor? And then the first quarter of the B part, or the chorus, is way, hey, and up she rises. So the only difference is, instead of the hoedown, we're gonna do. So I recommend let's just loop on that little rhythm a little bit. Another fun practice thing that I like to do is, when you have two parts that are pretty much the same thing but a slight variation, you can alternate between the basic and the variation. So something like, what will we do with the drunk? And then, way, hey, and up. What will we do with the... So you can kind of compare and contrast. We could also do that on a bigger section, like the first quarter of the verse, first quarter of the chorus. Something like, what will we do with the drunken sailor? Way, hey, and up she rises. What will we do? Drunken sailor, way, hey, and up she rises. All right, so that's roughly the tune. And now if we look at the backup part, it's pretty simple. You just need to know two chords, and we can play them in very simple ways. So I'm not going to talk about the theory of it in this lesson. I'm saving that for other lessons that I teach. By the way, I am currently building out a lot more lessons on chord backup, and depending on how interested people are in the theory, I'll talk about that more. But the main point with starting to do chord backup, the main thing I want you to get is you just have to start doing it. You just have to start playing it if you're interested. And the theory part, just keep asking questions, but don't stop if you don't understand the theory. Just learn chords and start playing them on songs. It's pretty simple, that part, okay? So we just need to know D minor. So the way we're gonna do it in this version is G1 and open D, and C major. All we do is we shift the first finger to D1 and play open G in D1. And a big thing to learn when you're doing chords is to practice the transitions between chords. And so we're gonna do that. Let's just do 4 bows on D minor, 4 bows on C. All right, and then if you can do that, if you want to eventually move towards singing and playing, you may not be interested, but if you are, what you could do is create a practice loop in which you alternate between doing the chords and singing. So like, what will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? And so on. You keep doing that, and then you can start to slip into doing both at the same time. You may want to start with even a smaller piece, like, what will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunk? So notice I'm just doing one chord now, but this is hard enough. If you're new to this, I suggest trying to find a one chord part and just start playing it with playing the chord and then singing, like, even if it's one word. What? It sounds dumb, but you're gonna get it if you take it in small enough pieces. The biggest thing that throws people off with learning an instrument is they just try to do too big of a piece, and they don't really make good learning progress. That's what I call this micro practice, where you just find the perfect little thing to practice and just ride that. So that's pretty much it with, I think, what I wanted to talk about with this song. It's pretty fun. Maybe I'll just play through a verse and a chorus with playing. Yeah, that would be good, so you can get the idea. So here you go. What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning, way and up she rises, way and up she rises, way and up she rises, early in the morning. I think my favorite part of the song is how they say early in the morning. I love that. So of course you could, once you get this, there's a lot of rhythmic possibilities with the bow, but I almost don't want to talk about that, because I think if you really master just simple notes with backup, maybe you could do, like, instead of half notes, quarter notes. What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do? That actually sounds more like eighth notes, but we'll do with the drunken sailor. And then you could work towards doing hoedown. What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? Lie in the morning. All right, so if you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. It really makes a big difference if you do that. And also, I've got a lot more learning stuff for this on the FiddleHed site, and I'm starting to make free pages so you can at least check out part of it. And so I strongly encourage you to do that, to click through the link in the description and just check it out. You know, there's the way I teach it integrates a lot of different things to really help you on your fiddle journey, and there's no commitment. It's just there waiting for you. All right, so it's time to maybe don your pirate hat and put a parrot on your shoulder, start saying "arrrrr" in every sentence, and play this tune. Have a lot of fun with it. I had fun learning it and teaching it to you guys. And let me know if you have any questions. Also, if you're into sea shanties, drop me a line. Let me know, like, some other good ones. Like, I actually don't know. I need to explore this more, but it's like, that's a great thing about music, is that there's always something to discover. I've been playing a long time and done a lot of everything from, like, reggae bands to, like, gypsy bands and Irish music deeply, and there's always just a whole vast thing waiting for you if you just continue. So I really wish you guys as much joy as I've had with the music journey, and that's why I'm teaching. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Go to FiddleHed.com for a progressive, step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more. Thanks for watching the video.
Excellent.
And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.